Hey everybody, what's going on? I am back with another quick film review for you. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Nosferatu. Yeah, because it's pretty good. Directed by Robert Eggers and written by Eggers as well as, as an adapted screenplay based on Nosferatu, the original 1922 German silent film, and of course, but it's also a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula, so yeah, you decide for yourself. It's like, does that matter? Maybe not, because the film is so well made. It's just really well executed. Uh, Now, due to copyright infringement back then, during the time of the original film, the original Nosferatu, it was ordered in court to have all the reels destroyed. But obviously, some copies survived and are now watchable on YouTube for free. So that's what I did after watching this film. I went and I watched the original Nosferatu, and had a good time watching that. Quite frankly, even though they kind of update the music and stuff naturally, because I believe it would have just been like a piano or something back then in 22, 23. So Nosferatu 2024. Let's talk about that. Okay, let's get up to speed to the present here with this new remake. It certainly takes its visual cues from the original film, and it is, honestly, I gotta say, it is perfectly produced with excellent performances and a great build to the tension by Eggers. I think that his staff has really outdone themselves this time here. The cinematography and the editing as well are really great. It stars an unrecognizable Bill Skarsgård as Orlok, the evil count, and Nicholas Hoult in a very good performance. Maybe his best, maybe the best I've seen. He's very good here. And in the lead protagonist role, basically, Lily Rose Depp plays his wife, and she's really convincing. Yeah, she's she's gonna get some award consideration, I think, because she's really great, really emotional. Aaron Taylor Johnson, that's right, is also in this film. He does a very good job as well. So does Emma Corrin, who plays his character's wife. Emma Corrin from Deadpool and Wolverine. She was the main bad guy there. And the always reliable Willem Dafoe, who, strange coincidence, he also played Count Orlok, or Max Schreck, really, playing Count Orlok, in Shadow of the Vampire, which is a film that came out like 20 years ago, and he got an Oscar nomination for that too. But in this film, he's the Van Helsing of this movie, I'd say. He's the vampire expert. Set in 1838 Germany, the actors, they all have British accents, but, forget about that, really. Holt plays estate agent Thomas Hutter, and he's tasked with selling a house to the mysterious Count Orlok, played by, a chameleon, once again, Bill Skarsgård. Just a chameleon. He's just, if you didn't tell me that was him in the credits, no, like I wouldn't have known. Nobody would have known. Anyway, Hutter's wife, Ellen, she's the main, crux of this story here. She's been having these dark dreams about death, and she's kind of messed up. She's very emotionally intense, and I guess that's kind of like, par for the course here with all these characters are all very intense. And her performance, though, I mean, is, oh man, it is very, very good. Like I said, very convincing, and Holt, too, is quite good for what his character has to go through. Now, when Hutter gets to the Orlok Castle, of course, things don't go exactly as planned, not as he expected it anyway. And he's, of course, in grave danger, and Orlok wants his wife. So, yeah. It's really good. It's just really well done. Nosferatu is a chilling horror film with a lot of style and just fantastic atmosphere here as well. Wonderful tone to the film. Just the DOP deserves a nomination, I think, here for whatever award, whatever trinkets. But there's a lot of tension and some great manic performances too from these side characters, the smaller characters that are also under Orlok's influence. So yeah, the acting, directing, cinematography, editing, they all deserve Oscar noms here, as it is, masterfully told, even if it's basically Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, it basically is, right? So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about the story. I'm not gonna spoil nothing really. I mean, that's just the setup of the movie, but I think everybody knows the story anyway, so it's kind of like it's only a spoiler if you haven't seen Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like Francis Ford Coppola's version is pretty good. You know, you just watch that and you kind of already know what's gonna happen in this movie. So to me, that does kind of hurt it in a small way, but because the story is so close, but it's also kind of forgivable in some ways too. I'm kind of on the fence about the whole, originality of it being just a ripoff of Dracula, right? The copyright is long expired, of course, so they can do this story. I guess in the end, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really matter. We've seen this story told many times, of course, but rarely has it been told this well. The script is very tight, not too long. There were a couple of scenes that maybe they could have skipped, but the editing is quite good here. So I think if you love any vampire movies or stories of any kind, you'll enjoy this remake, which has just enough blood in it, not too much. It's not over the top gore, but it does have a couple of good jump scares in there too. I will say it's. Again, just very, very masterfully made, and it's disturbing, stylish without going over the top, which would have been very easy for it to be cheesy, but it's not very cheesy. I mean, it flirts with the idea of almost being cheesy at times, but it's not really corny. I mean, that's really the subject matter anyway. That's really the material. So just the idea of remaking this one more time, it just seems like, oh god, here we go again with another Dracula kind of story. But they pulled it off. They did a great job. So Count Orlok, being this ancient, seductive vampire, and he's pure evil. But Eggers is smart not to show him too much, especially at the beginning. But Orlok's voice stays with you, and so does the film. So it's the same old story executed perfectly. Eggers, he does it again. His films like The Witch and The Lighthouse, also with Willem Dafoe, and the Northman too. I really like that picture. All those movies, they stayed with me, afterwards, after the credits roll, and this one is definitely no exception. So it's an excellent production, and I encourage all horror movie fans to go see it. I'd say this and Longlegs are, and probably Terrifier 3 as well. Those are the three best horror movies of the year in my book. So definitely go see Nosferatu. I'm giving this film a 9 out of 10. And I can't wait to see it again. Alright guys, that's it for this quick review. It wasn't that quick, I kind of went on about it, but that's okay. Tell me what you think about my reviews anyway in the comments below, because I want to know. Is there a point to me making these videos? I mean, in 2025, am I going to keep reviewing movies? Does anyone care? Well, maybe not, but everyone's got an opinion and everyone wants to share it, and, I just feel compelled to do it regardless. Doesn't cost me anything. Doesn't cost you anything but time, so why not, right? But I thank you so much for checking out this review. If you happen to stay till the end, thank you. All right guys, until next time, this is Neil. Peace.